in the Kung Fu Cup number 8. Or round of 16 action. Ridiculous these games are. Round of 16s. As in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to start things off with the blue Terran player from the Shopify Rebellion. Of course, this is ByuN. Top left, Red Protoss from Dragon Kaisi Gaming. We have got ourselves herO. I expect this to be fun, right? ByuN herO is almost always a good time. There's sometimes where, one guy just gets the better and it's a bit of a faster series, some aggression. Kind of goes the right way and the other guy doesn't get to play much StarCraft. That's always going to happen when you have players like ByuN and players like herO who are just naturally, very aggressive in general. Probe coming over, SCV gonna get nibbled. Just gonna see both those SCVs turning around and hitting that probe just a little bit. Again, Refinery's about to finish. Gateway coming in, Assimilator coming out as well. Why do I watch Max Packs? I don't know, guys. If they're not on my stream, I don't know where they're playing because, believe it or not, while casting these games, I'm not watching every other stream that's online in the tournament. As much as I wish I could tell you where all the games are at, I have absolutely no idea where everyone is playing and which casters are casting what and all the rest of it, Probe, nibbled at SCV, taking some shots. We are going to get the factory here, and the rack's obviously just over in the corner, but ByuN is going to go factory before expanding. herO just going to get a Zealot out and will likely bring this across the map to put on a bit of pressure. He got his Nexus down without issue. And as the Cybercore finishes, we can start to question what kind of tech herO's going to bring to the table for Game 1 on Dragon Scales. It's a good question, right? I mean, this really could be a little bit of whatever as the reactor going to come down. And Circlet, thank you so much for the 2-month resub on the Prime. Thank you for supporting the channel today. Reactor builds in the barracks, brings it over towards the factory, which kind of feels like at some point the factory might want to go there. Or you just want all your production nearby. That could be a pretty decent reason as well. As we do have the reactor starting, the Widow Mine on the way out is going to be our starting point, and the Reaper just gets to jump on this Zealot. Shouldn't go down. There's an Adept on the way across. If the Reaper does want to keep hitting the Zealot, I think that's fine, but the Adept should be here to save Mr. Zealot in a second, and that means that the Reaper now does just have to go run away, and going to get past the Adept at least, and can maybe make a dive for the base, but there's going to be another Adept there as well, so it seems pretty unlikely that we're going to really get too much out of this at the end of the day. That's another natural, at least, which is always nice to try and find a bit of info. Also just scare and kind of keep on moving the units of herO around. Even just seeing the units, of course. You see multiple Adepts here. That's sometimes a good indicator of how much gas is being spent. The fact there's no Stalkers is fairly notable when it comes to maybe whether this is a Blink follow-up or not. But it's actually a Robo from herO to start us out. I get to tell you the herO Robo story now. But there was like a couple months ago at this stage, just kind of a week where herO and PvT did nothing but open Robo. But you obviously, like, Robo is a very, Robo's a very kind of... What is Robo? It's a very uncommon build, honestly, in PvT, right? It is just not kind of something you open with a lot of the time. It can be good. Prism applies some pressure across the map. It's just, it doesn't have the defensive kind of, or like the mobility of like Phoenix, or the mobility of Blink Stalkers, and that's, those are things you usually prioritize a lot early game. It doesn't have good drop defense because it's missing those, so you sacrifice some things here. What herO is really fun with when he plays Robo is that he has so many different follow-ups, and the follow-ups being so different a lot of the time are the really exciting part of this. Because when his follow-ups are so different every single game, it's very hard for the Terran to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this now, oh yeah, I'm going to do that now. Sometimes he 2-base all-ins off this Robo play, sometimes he goes straight to Colossi, sometimes he's going to follow up with the Twilight Council. And it's that combination of differences that I think is really powerful for herO. The Robo build in itself is okay, but it has weaknesses. But when you can follow up in so many different ways, if the Terran tries to truly respect all of those, it's very difficult for the Terran to punish what this Robo opening is actually weak to. Got a grab on the first Observer, that's nice. Any Observer is A, expensive, and B, it takes up Robo facility build time, which is going to be an important resource actually during this time. As we get 4 SCVs on the initial little drop-in, that is not bad at all, that's very good. Alright, well, And he actually got the auto turret on the other side as well to kill off an observer. So this Raven, 2 observers from it so far. Very nice, already paying for itself. As the Widow Mine gets into the natural. Just a probe, a little bit of lost mining time. Uh-oh, the Prism is going to get out. The recall was instant here. As the Viking obviously helps to poke at that Prism and make sure it will get out of there. Nice to just deflect that already, though. Now ByuN doesn't have to worry about that back at home for a little while. An auto turret comes down. You see some of these probes that will begin to drop. The Adept and the few Stalkers coming through. The auto turret going to get cleaned out straight away. And this Widow Mine just wandering on down to the south in these early stages. So if we could get the Prism back across, that'd be great. But it's scary when there's a Viking open. So if you now don't have any map control, well, that's very scary, because that is your map control of the Robo. You don't have Blink. We're on our way to charge. You have a couple of Mortals. Maybe we actually do genuinely believe in this bit of a push that herO has coming across the map. ByuN is yet to hit Stim or Combat Shield. It was a Stalker to the forward Widow Mine to begin with, though. Is not exactly a fun start. Marines, tanks all join up. Bunker and depots setting up. Just gonna see our auto turret firing up. Gonna get a kill probe straight away. Auto turret will now go down. The Zealots wanting to get towards that. I'm just seeing Stalkers, Zealots, Immortals still pulling up to the northern side here. As we do have Storm and the Charge also being added on in for the moment. Storm is just moments away from finishing as we have our Marauders Marine tank or 2 coming down to the low ground. Medevac's coming out up to the top. Just going to be seeing the couple of Zealots, the Immortals all coming through. Marine's going to come over on the pylon. It's going to get picked away at here. Our Stalkers gonna get picked off. I mean, this is the first real time that ByuN's getting kind of aggressive beyond the Raven. I'm gonna hit a feedback off the High Templar. Get rid of the Medevac energy, so you get rid of the healing potential. These couple Marines are not gonna be in too much trouble here. It was actually the SCV lane that gets stormed. So you have the Viking still to maybe hunt down that Prism. It is so low. The Viking is on the hunt. Obviously, eventually the Prism has to cut across, and that's going to be the issue. Unless these units can actually stop the Viking. That's the Prism cutting across. The Viking's got it. That's a kill. And one of the High Templar goes down. The other did get out, but the other one did unfortunately fall. So that is a big catch. As we actually try to get the High Templar with the dropping Medevac. Still no blinks. The Stalker can't play catch-up or anything onto that. Stalker still trying to chase. Medevac still taking damage. And the rest of this force of ByuN heading back down to the natural again. Ghost Academy is about halfway through. The +1 attack is still coming up. Our Marauders, our Medevacs, our Ghost Academy all producing here as everything continues on in. Hey, Templar, Zealots still chilling. A few Zealots out over the left-hand side as well. Want to figure out what they maybe want to do here next few moments. And yeah, you're still just kind of gathering back up to the top. Orbital Command going to come down on the front. Tanks will continue to siege. An auto turret already going to drop in for a probe or 2. And the Vax gather back on the natural. Feedback goes down. Raven is going to get popped by the Stalkers. Nice grab. Good to get rid of that one. As finally the Raven is dealt with. And no longer does herO have to worry about that. Seeing our Disruptor still coming up. Our Prism still getting the Prism speed as well. So it's going to be utilized heavily in the upcoming moments, you would imagine. Stalkers, Immortal, couple of Disruptors still setting up. The few Zealots are making their way up to the top. We've got that Prism speed, like I say. Gonna give you a bit more kind of potential with the Prisms here. We already lost one Prism, but new Prism full of HP. Get around the map, maybe some cheeky Disruptor drops. Try and get herO some nice, juicy connections onto that ByuN army. Zealots still making their way around the side. A couple of Vikings, Marauders, +1 armor, all on the way out as well. So you have these few Zealots being caught immediately. And yeah, just, I mean, Missile Turret, Ghosts, Vikings, all the good stuff is still being brought into play. Yeah, I've got this force heading back into this top. And the army in general from herO working around into the upper right-hand corner over these next few moments. Storm, Storm. A bunch of SCVs already going down. And a couple more disruptors coming out. We're going to scan out on the left-hand side as well. And just going to find the Prism again. Okay, well, that's nice, because if the Prism has High Templar inside, you really can, of course, just, you know, get some really good storms off of that. Oh, this is bad for herO. If ByuN gets the Disruptor and he's already EMP the Templar, this is terrible for him. There's Temple on the northern side, but just herO not being able to get a lot. I mean, he's essentially about to surround ByuN in every direction, but ByuN is jumping on portions of this surround before it can go off, and that is the issue herO is having. And now ByuN turns this into a one-directional fight, and herO's lost a lot in the process. 1-1 upgrades with ByuN helping him as well. He will stim one more time. He is low HP on these units. He cannot afford to eat a storm. Disruptors will not grab anything. Some shots on the rocks obviously mean nothing at all in this case. Supplies are still fairly even, but I do feel like that was a really good situation for ByuN. I mean, guess credit to herO for minimizing damage taken in what seemed pretty bad. Storm comes up, just going to be seen as CC, taking some shots. Disruptors coming up, Archon coming through, EMP goes down again, hitting the Immortals. We grab a Marauder with that Disruptor, as we do have the Fire Force still around the right side. Widow Mine is not going to go off. The Disruptor shot coming through, doesn't quite connect just yet. Still see our Marauders, our barracks all producing. That's another nice storm. Coming in pretty much immediately as we continue to come through. 2-2, Ghosts, Widow Mines. Just still has the units to make this work out. As the couple tanks going to help this against this army that starts to lead in position. Disruptor shots come flying through. ByuN is going to get a couple of them, but does he have enough overall? I actually think he's doing pretty okay. The Vikings will land from the back. These Zealots are kind of creating a surround. It's going to turn out to be a pushback from ByuN's point of view. He is going to turn herO out of here. It's not been an easy game for anybody so far. This Disruptor shot flies down south, doesn't hit anything. Another scan out up to the top, and just seeing Disruptors and Archons all building here. The 2-2 upgrades still producing in from ByuN. You see Mines, Marauders, Marines brought in good numbers as well. So all of that just being added on for the moment. Let's check a little EMP onto a few of those High Templars, Zealots, Archons. Still positioned around the edges. Our Bioforce coming forward here straight away. A few Zealots already going down. Another EMP hits the Archons. Disruptor fires, doesn't do too much. Another Disruptor shot just for Marine. Widow Mine gets a Stalker as well. And that's going to be... the Widow Mine going down. Nice attempt to save it from the medevac. Both these players are lingering around similar supplies for such a long time, right? Like, herO's always like 15-ish supply behind ByuN. It's just been that situation. But like I say, it feels like a very long time. We get a Ghost off the Disruptor shot. I think we're going to get the Disruptor as a follow-up at least. ByuN was kind of off to the side with a lot of his army at first there. Finally getting a chance to bring it back together. And again, just both players really working their way around here on Dragon Scales, trying to figure out what we can do, where we can do things, and all the rest of it. Fire comes up, Pylon goes down. We have a Nexus over on the far left that will be, well, instantly cancelled, so this one does not get to start. EMP's come down, Archon's taking shots, just going to get pushed away in the end, getting shoved up the sides. Now you can see our Bio still storming forward, battery goes down, Pylon's going down, cannon as well. This Nexus continues to drop here, and that's going to go down as well. So everything getting picked away at. But our Bioforce is still coming over. 8 probes going down, Stalker's getting chased. The rest of this army from herO getting set up as EMPs are going to come down across this. High Templar gets hit. By that EMP, these high tempers will continue to go down. Another disruptor shot firing through. Marines going down. Wah! We lift up. We go towards the main base. herO lost a lot. ByuN's actually going to drop back on top of this army. He doesn't respect it, man. He does need a storm. He's gotten rid of every disruptor bar one. Okay, there was a new one top right that does just turn away in time, but ByuN also has units upper right. This fight is going to go in ByuN's favor. He is going to knock this one down. 16 minutes of very back and forth. Like, the top left, he's in the lead of this series. He's up a game. The Shopify Rebellion's ByuN. He's going to lead us to battle, heading into game 2. Bottom right, the red Protoss from Dragon Kaiser Gaming. herO. Game 2 of our best of 3. Wait to see which of these two will start to take advantage in this one. That was a fun game, man. From storm drops, disruptors, so much kind of cool movement around, especially I think was just the really kind of like highlight of it all. You know, the two players really trying to make their way and just on repeat a lot of the time. Very cool. Very, very cool. Gateway Simulator, all coming online, bringing all of this up and running for the moment. So have it go about halfway done. Let's see where we end up next few moments here, see what we're gonna get done, see what we're gonna do. But this barracks kind of out the front a little bit. Meanwhile, the pylon's right close by. As the Reaper starts to rally out. herO is going to straight up just proxy. He does not seem to care, man. He is not messing around, is he? Barracks is going to pop up and just get back home. ByuN clearly is enjoying these kind of non-immediately like expansion-based builds against herO, who can be a very aggressive player. He had a probe to kill in this main base, which is why it's worth bringing the Reaper back. But this does mean that then the Reaper is not across the map quickly and will not notice the lack of a Nexus quickly. Oh, he comes down the ramp, though. So he sees the Stargate, and he is going to get the Scout. He starts onto the... I was going to say the Pylon. He did hit the Stargate a couple times extra. Now starting to work on that Pylon as the Adept. Going to shade around, and the Reaper just going to back it up for a second once again. Reaper hops up into the main. Adept coming across. Reaper's still around here. Adept is going to come over. Reaper gets chased away for the moment. Oracle still coming through. And again, Cyclone coming up. Starport coming in. All good things on the way right now. As we just have ourselves. The Reaper going to find, again, well, the Stargate's already known about. Just going to check it's still building, perhaps what it is. Just good double checking to know that you're setting up correctly against it as the Oracle pops. And we do have a Cyclone defense already establishing on the side of ByuN, so should be able to do a decent job of limiting what herO can achieve in the next little while. I'd be surprised if too much was really found off of this, but I suppose we shall see. Oracle flies into the main base. That's a Cyclone immediately in some trouble. Marines are going to get an Oracle, though. So, an Oracle for a Cyclone. And we get a couple SCVs at the end. The Marine's obviously quite slow to chase. A miss micro. Not that it really makes a difference. He got probably the same amount of work as he would have had anyway. So just seeing an Oracle coming up here on the Stargate as well. It's just going to get that going. We do have our Medevac, our Cyclone continuing through, and a couple extra Marines producing as well. I think another Cyclone's fine. We actually see herO going into what is now his third? So 4th Oracle of the game. That's a lot of Oracles. Every Oracle you build is a later Twilight Council, right? A later bit of tech. That's not going to help you out too much, so it's some things to look at here, some things to think of, as we do have the Oracle Chrono boosting away on the Stargate. Marines are going to come boosting into the center. Just going to come across and unload straight onto this pylon. I mean, the Oracle will be able to get away. That shouldn't be an issue. But obviously just going to shut down the Stargate before it can do much else. And, I mean, the Phoenix that's trying to get out ain't going to do much either. So as long as we can defend the now currently triple Oracle at home, which double Cyclone will do an okay job of trying, but will it be enough? If we get rid of one, we're going to get rid of two. We could have probably repaired one of those Cyclones, no? Surely. Like I say, I mean, you're trading Oracles or Cyclones. It's kind of fine because the whole point of the Cyclones is to make sure the Oracles don't do much. You are going to notice, by the way, as well, it's Cloak Banshees. Obviously, that's a situation where it's actually really bad to not have the Oracles up and alive because then you're going to have less detection available. These Marines are just slaying probes as well. There's so much investment on the other side from herO that there's just nothing going on here. I mean, he has to pull probes straight up to have any chance of holding this, and that's a lot of damage taken. 13 probes going down. ByuN powering up, and again, like I say, Banshees with Cloak are now out on the map. We only have one. herO's not even going to wait around, man. He's just out of here. He's seen enough. He knows how this one ends. GG's, and ByuN gets through herO today to advance into the quarterfinals.